Okay, let's jump right in. Today we're doing a deep dive into the new U.S. Vice President JD Vance.
Right. And we're mainly leaning on a BBC News article to sort of guide us.
Exactly. We want to unpack who he is, understand his journey, and pull out the key things the source highlights.
And it's timely, obviously. He's just been sworn in
Okay.
50th VP after the 2024 election.
And the source actually mentions a detail about the inauguration. It had to be moved indoors because of extreme cold.
Yeah, quite a striking image. The article also flags something during his oath.
What was that?
The specific inclusion of the Make America Great Again slogan. The source seemed to frame that as, a deliberate signal from the very start.
Interesting. So what the BBC piece really gets into is his whole trajectory.
Definitely. For a lot of people, the first encounter was his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy.
Right.
And the source positions that book as crucial. It really detailed his challenging upbringing, poor white communities in Ohio, Kentucky.
Yeah, he wrote very openly about, low social mobility, poverty, addiction issues he saw firsthand. Called his home area a hub of misery, I think.
That's the quote the article uses. And it notes the timing, summer 2016, a really pivotal political moment.
And the source connects its success, becoming a bestseller, directly to that moment. It was seen as helping people understand maybe Trump's initial victory.
That's the link the article makes, yeah, that support from white working-class voters. The book kind of gave voice to those experiences, or at least that's how it was perceived, according to the source.
But here's where the BBC article adds a layer. It points out he wasn't always on the Trump train.
Oh, definitely not. The source quotes him from 2016. Things like, my God, what an idiot.
Wow. And reprehensible, I think. Comments that definitely resurfaced later.
They did. It's a significant shift. And the source spends some time on it. But it also suggests that even early on, he shared Trump's, let's say, disdain for elites.
So the journey described is from critic to, one of his most solid supporters, especially during his Senate run.
Exactly. And the article implies this loyalty was pretty key in him getting the VP nod, his ability to fire up Trump's base.
And his background helps there, right? The Midwestern roots.
Yeah, the source really highlights that, saying it made him particularly effective in those key swing states, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. He connects with people there.
The BBC piece also touches on his policy platform. Focus on global outsourcing,
Right.
trade, often blaming China.
Yes, very much so. He links that directly to factory closures in the U.S. The article mentions he's called China the biggest threat.
And this policy focus, according to the source, ties right back into that personal story he tells.
Absolutely. He used it in his convention speech, mentioned in the article, talking about growing up somewhere cast aside and forgotten by America's ruling class.
Directly linking that decline in Rust Belt towns to trade deals.
The source also notes he's made some controversial comments along the way. It gives examples about childless Democrats and claims about Haitian migrants.
Right, the article includes those points. And shifting slightly, the source also gives a little insight into his personal life, mentioning his wife, Asha Vance.
He does. Describes her as a lawyer, child of Indian immigrants. He apparently calls her the powerful female voice on his shoulder. Met at Yale Law, married in 2014.
And another interesting detail from the source, his age. He's 40.
Yeah, making him the third youngest VP ever, the article points out.
Quite something. And his background before politics, the source lists 4 years in the Marines.
Including Iraq, yeah. Then Ohio State, Yale Law School, and time as a venture capitalist. A varied path.
So if we pull all these threads together from the BBC article, what's the picture it paints?
Well, the source portrays a really remarkable rise, doesn't it? From that tough background chronicled in Hillbilly Elegy, a book that itself became part of a national conversation through a very public evolution on Trump, to now being vice president.
Yeah, his background is policy focus. It creates a distinct political figure, as the article lays it out.
Which leads to a final thought, maybe for you, the listener, to mull over. Given this journey, the source describes the challenging start, the past criticisms of Trump. Now serving alongside him, what might his unique path suggest about the changing landscape of American politics today? What resonates now?